Virat Kohli could face punishment for the altercation if found in violation of the International Cricket Council's Code of Conduct after deliberately shouldering 19-year-old Test debutant Sam Konstas on the opening day of the Boxing Day Test at the Melbourne Cricket Ground. So, what exactly happened? Well, after the 10th over of the match, Virat Kohli, a former captain, cut across from his initial position on the leg side of play with the ball in his hand, walked beside the pitch where Sam Konstas was returning back from the other end, and the shoulder barge happened. Konstas and Kohli exchanged words before Usman Khwaja came in with a smile and put a hand over Kohli's shoulders. Now, following this, reactions have poured in. Let's find out who said what. Former Australia opener and coach Justice Langer said the contact was a poor look for the game. We don't like seeing that in any cricket, he said during commentary for the Seven Network, and he added that there'll be plenty said about this. Former Australian captain Ricky Ponting said Kohli could be in some trouble for the contact. He said on the Seven Network, and I quote, "I have no doubt that the umpires and the referee will have a good look at that. We've seen a few angles. Fielders should be nowhere near the batsman at that stage. Every fieldsman knows where the batsman will congregate and get together. It looked to me that Konstas looked up late. He wouldn't have known anyone is in front of him." Match referee Andy Wycroft is certain to look at the incident. The ICC's Code of Conduct states that, and I quote, "Any form of inappropriate physical contact is prohibited in cricket. Without limitation, players will breach this regulation if they deliberately, recklessly, and or negligently walk or run into or shoulder another player or umpire." Simon Toffel, the five-time umpire of the year, said on the Seven Network, and I quote, "It shows Virat Kohli actually changing his line to get into the personal space of Sam Konstas." He added, and I quote, "There's a clause with the ICC Code of Conduct that talks about inappropriate physical contact. That's the clause that the umpires and the referee will be looking at the close of play today to see whether or not Virat's action went into that category." He added, "My suggestion would be they'll be looking at that seriously and likely to do something about that now." Former England captain Michael Vaughan also said Kohli was to blame for the collision, highlighting the incident seemed to show India had been rattled. He said during the break, and I quote, "He's completely acted wrong. I don't know why a senior pro who's played for so long, he's a king, why he's been rattled by a 19-year-old. Sam Konstas did absolutely nothing wrong there. Virat veered towards him." Agreeing with him, Kefi also said, and I quote, "You can't do that. You're just not allowed to do that." Kohli has built his whole career on arrogance. Suddenly, he identified that in a debutant and he seemed to resent it. I think he's in trouble. Australian women's captain Elisa Healy said that Kohli's actions weren't in the best interests of his side. She explained, and I quote, "It's probably more disappointing than anything else that an experienced player, one of your best players in the country, is quite visibly looking at the wider picture and made a beeline for the youngest player on the opposition." She added, "It doesn't really set the greatest tone for your side, but if that's one way the Indian team wants to approach it, so be it. It didn't rattle him one bit." Also, Darren Berry, former Victoria cricket captain, wrote on X, and I quote, "If the ICC don't give Virat a holiday with his family in Sydney, then we might as well pack up our bat and ball and go home." Changed his line and showed the world the kid has rattled him and his team. Such a shame, as the kid absolutely idolizes Kohli. Never meet your hero. Meanwhile, here are some reactions from fans as well.
आई डोंट थिंक सो कि उनमें कोई कंट्रोवर्सी हुई थी. आई थिंक इट्स अ पार्ट ऑफ क्रिकेट. जो भी वो लड़का नया आया, उसका पहला मैच है, ही इज एन 18-year-old. व्हाट एल्स कैन यू आस्क फॉर? ऐसा डेब्यू मिला है उसे, यू नो, ऑन अ डेब्यू ही इज मेकिंग 60 odd runs. व्हाट एल्स यू कैन आस्क फॉर? एंड कंट्रोवर्सी अगर आप बोलो तो आई डोंट थिंक सो इट्स अ कंट्रोवर्सी. कोहली ने आई थिंक अप्रिशिएट ही किया होगा. एट द एंड ऑफ द डे, इफ यू आस्क कोहली ऑफ द फील्ड कि वो कैसा खेला, आई थिंक कोहली वुड अप्रिशिएट इट.